So you might have heard online of this crazy new way to make money, doing sales. And if you're really in the loop, you might have also heard that people are doing it from their laptop. Oh my God, crazy, right? In this video, we're just gonna be talking about one of those remote sales positions. So we're gonna be talking about what is an appointment setter, what they actually do, and what kind of income you can make doing this. So back in 2020, I was setting appointments with realtors for a video marketing offer that was between $2,500 a month to $7,500 a month. And I had to basically learn everything from scratch because I was setting appointments for my own business. So I had to learn like where to find these realtors, if I should cold call them or cold email them, which by the way, you shouldn't do either, but I didn't know that at the time. What I should say to these realtors on the phone when booking them in, and then how to follow up with them later to ensure that they actually show up to the appointment. Everything from scratch, I just had to learn. And I got pretty good at it. I only had 2 objectives as an appointment setter, and you too would only have 2 objectives. Objective 1 would be setting as many appointments on the calendar as possible, and 2, making sure those appointments show up. Because if you set 100 appointments on a calendar but only 5 show up, I mean, you kind of suck at your job. At the time, this was in 2021, and I was setting about 5 appointments every single week, and between 80 to 90% of those realtors would show up to the call. But then since it was my business, I had to show up to those appointments and close them, which was kind of hilarious. Yeah, you're gonna be talking with my boss, Ethan E. Great guy, 2 p.m. Wednesday, be there. And then half the time when I actually got on the phone with them, they'd be like, "Weren't you the guy that set the appointment with me?" And I'd be like, "Guilty." And then so eventually I was like, okay, like this is too much. I need help with this. So I hired 2 separate appointment setters. Now the income that they receive for their positions is really important that I want to make a distinction on that I'll get to later. But before that, it's really important to note how I found these people in the first place. Because you watching this video right now, I mean, if you want to become an appointment setter, you actually have to find the business owner, which was me in this case, and apply to work with them, like any other job. There's tons of tactics and strategies for how to find these business owners, which I'm not going to get into this video. I'm just going to keep it broad. But guys, it's like how you apply to any other job. You can go to Indeed right now and just search up high ticket closer, and there will be positions on there, or high ticket appointment setters, and it's like right there. Like it's how you apply to every other job for the most part. When I was hiring for appointment setters, I was really looking for 5 things. And when I say like I was looking for these things, I just, that kind of applies to like any digital business owner because these are really just industry standard things. So the 5 things are great energy and enthusiasm, clarity on what they wanted, honesty and integrity, social skills, and track record. So just to break those down real quick from like a business owner's perspective for when they're hiring an appointment setter. So when they're looking for someone with great energy and enthusiasm, that is so key because enthusiasm is transferred on a call. And if you're not enthusiastic about what you're doing, I mean, like, not only does no one want to be around that, but that's just like, it's not good in a business environment. The second thing here is clarity on what they wanted. So I want to have as a business owner a very clear idea of where they see themselves in a year, and if I can provide that to them as a business owner. In the case of the 2 guys that I selected, they wanted to become like really, really good at sales, but they were starting in a spot where they actually knew nothing, which I'm gonna get to in a second here with track record, but they had no clue how to do any of this appointment setter stuff, but they had just this vision for like, I wanna be the best. I wanna learn sales. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can help get you there. The third thing is honesty and integrity. And guys, I mean, that's just kind of like a standard thing you want in any company, in any position. The fourth thing here is social skills. Like, yeah, of course, like I'm not trying to hire some Napoleon Dynamite type character who can't have freaking basic social skills.
Do you ride the bus to school?
No, I ride my bike.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's a sledgehammer.
Dang! You got shocks? Pegs? Lucky!
And the fifth thing here is track record, which is like, what is your experience in sales? Have you closed people before? Have you worked in other companies? Like I said, these guys didn't really know anything about sales whatsoever. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, they've got the enthusiasm, they've got the dedication, I know where they're trying to be in a year, they've got the honesty, integrity, they're really easy to talk to. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I can train them up to be basically as good as me in appointment setting within 2 months. Like, it's a 2-month learning curve.
When she asks like why it's a problem, like would you just straight up tell her why it's a problem, or would you kind of like
No. You most a really skilled salesperson, will
uh,
make the person come to that conclusion on their
yeah,
own.
that's what I mean. Like how I'm still kind of grasping how to do that, because like in the last call you
In those 2 months, it doesn't cost me anything because they're in a 100% commission-based role. Now, granted, I was a little cheap. A lot of business owners don't actually do this. They usually offer like a base salary of like $1,500 to $2,500 a month, and then they give you commission on top of that. So again, in my mind as a business owner, I'm looking at these guys fresh and I'm thinking, okay, within 2 months, they'll be setting appointments. I'll pay them 20% of the deals from the appointments that I close. If they set 5 appointments each, that's 10 appointments a week, 40 appointments a month, 20% of those appointments will close. That's $20K a month for me, $4,000 a month goes to them. Boom, let's do it. Like, that math just makes sense to me. That's a no-brainer. Now, my situation was a little fucked, if I'm honest. Like, I was underpaying these guys, not because I wanted to or I was choosing to. It was just because, like, my company was too small. I mean, we were only doing $300,000 a year in revenue. Compare that to some individual sales reps closing deals who are making $300,000 a year in commissions, right? It doesn't really like add up. So just like a good rule of thumb is figure out whatever commission that you want to make, say $300,000 a year, and then multiply that number by 10, and then that's going to be the annual revenue of a company that you want to find. So in this case, it would be $3 million a year. You're going to be taking 10% of that as a remote closer, and then, you know, that's what they're paying you. I ended up working with those guys for like 2 years, each of them getting like $2K a month, taking little like side gigs, side hustles on the side. You know, they learned a ton, and Jared actually ended up moving on to a closing position in a different company, and he's now crushing like 30K months. So I mean, they started with a really good foundation of learning and understanding. So do I feel bad about it today? No, not really. I mean, it was kind of brutal at some points for those guys. They didn't have to do that. They kind of went the long road of 2 years. Like, they could have just achieved the same effect now if I was to train them in like 3 months, but you know, c'est la vie, they got to the end result of what they wanted. So yeah, appointment setters are a super valuable hire for businesses. It's probably the first hire that a company makes as they're growing. Just make sure you don't pick a company that is too small and can't pay you what you want. Here's what you want to be able to get paid, and like check with the business owner while you're talking to them. You want to set 1 appointment per hour, which isn't even that good, but whatever. That's 100 appointments per month if you're working 5 hours a day. 20% of those appointments are going to close, and then the business owner is going to pay you $300 per close. So that's 20 closes times $300 per close. That's $6,000 per month. And then on top of that, you're going to have your base pay, which is $1,500 to $2,500 a month. And now you're making, you know, $8,500 as an appointment setter, working like 5 hours a week. Not 5 hours a week, 5 hours a day, working like 25 hours a week. So yeah, hopefully this gave you some clarification on what an appointment setter is. If you want to go down the rabbit hole a bit more on this appointment setting thing, first link in the bio, I have a free training, a resource on how you can learn the skills as an appointment setter and get hired in a gig in as little as 30 days. So that's going to be the first link in the bio. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will catch you in the next video.